Well, let's talk about the BBC. They've done it again. They put together a list of the top 100 inspiring women. Only one of the women on the list, Brigitte Baptiste, is not really a woman, but a Colombian scientist who is a trans activist who provides a queer lens on biodiversity, whatever that means. Darren, this selection has naturally caused a great deal of outrage among women's rights campaigners, and it comes just days after the BBC selected a Zambian soccer player, Barbara Banda, as its Women's Footballer of the Year. Again, the only problem is old mate Babs has been axed from a major tournament for allegedly failing to meet sex eligibility rules. Is the BBC just trolling women right now?
Well, absolutely. You've got it bang on. This is a masterclass in how to undermine women while claiming to actually celebrate them. You know, it's doublespeak in a complete absurdity. I mean, on the one hand, in that top 100 list, you had Giselle Pillicot, who was a rape survivor in France, who was raped by tens of men who her husband had invited in while she was sedated, drugged effectively, so that they could have their wicked way with her. And she's been bravely fighting for justice and an inspiration to actually women's rights and safety against domestic violence. But on the other hand, you've got this Brigitte Baptiste, a man in a wig that they've decided is inspirational because they're talking about queerness, the watchwords of the moment. Since when did caricaturing women become an act of bravery? It isn't only ridiculous, though, Rita. It's actually offensive. And it's offensive because if a man can throw on a dress, babble about queer ecology, and land on a list supposedly celebrating women, then what does it say about how women are actually viewed by the BBC? That their desperate virtue signalling has actually rendered them the concept of womanhood absolutely meaningless. And that means that the BBC, as our national broadcaster, can't cover those issues in any serious or meaningful way. Because you'd have to ask yourself, could the BBC define a woman? Could it bring itself to do that collectively as an institution? And I don't think it could, because they've abandoned the concept, the idea altogether. And as you well know, you document it on this show day in, day out. The concept matters because women matter. And this bizarre caricature and celebration of it, I think, is an affront to women's rights and equality that have been long hard fought for over many decades, centuries in fact, and for the BBC to ride roughshod over them, all to appear progressive, I think is a dereliction of their duty as a national broadcaster, and they're frankly making us a national, international laughingstock.